sure. Just wanted to be better safe than sorry.
Yep, yep, yep. Definitely appreciate your time with our youth mentorship podcast. We want to continue to get a different variety of guests to expose our young people to different options, different career options. We talk about mental health awareness, confidence, self-esteem, and try to help get our kids, help them break out of their shells.
Okay, nice, nice.
So now with that being said, please introduce yourself to the good people and talk a little bit about any childhood memories that shape or influence your personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Mercedes. My close family and friends call me Mercy. So going off of that, what shaped like my personality and stuff like that, as far as background and childhood memories, that will be one of them. Would be just the start of my nickname, basically. And then and yeah, I wouldn't say that as far as like my childhood, what really shaped me, I would say that it really didn't enter more into my adult year, personally. So I would say like more when I started branding myself. So that's why like when I got that nickname and stuff like that, it kind of like correlated with that branding and kind of becoming, I would say like the start of becoming of who I want to be, pretty much.
So now, like were you a late bloomer, or you've been, kind of like, okay, I can do this, I can be a model. I already
No,
know
late
that I
bloomer. No, definitely late bloomer. I was definitely very shy growing up. I was very, very shy, very timid. And then as I reached my adulthood, I just reached a peak of where I really stopped caring about what people really think and just kind of definitely um, pushed at everything I want to do, without thinking whatever anyone has to say, whether anyone's opinion and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely reached that peak in my adult year, I would say. Yeah.
glad you shared that piece, especially about, not worrying about, what other people think,
Hmm.
because a lot of our young people, male and female, are so worried about what somebody else is thinking about them, and it kind
Yeah.
of holds them back.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, you just definitely have to be thick skin. Definitely have thick skin. That's one for sure.
Now, talk a little bit about some of the challenges you've either experienced in life in general, or specifically within just the whole modeling industry, period.
Um, as far as I can't really tap too much into that because I'm not somebody that will go out. I kind of do it for fun. I don't have too much professional experience. Um, but I do know just doing it while having fun, it is there's still certain, I wouldn't say pressure, but it's just I'm a perfectionist, so things have to come out correctly, and you can't get too bummed out or have super high expectations. You just have to. I just say just have fun with it, especially if you're just starting out. Definitely start with if that's something that you want to get into. I would suggest like taking pictures on the side, seeing what you're comfortable with, seeing your angles, and just kind of going from there and just starting off slow. But I just have fun with it because the moment I used to have so many high expectations on things, and it would never come through, or sometimes it wouldn't come through and I would be just devastated. But yeah, so I would just say have fun with it. Just have fun with it and grind.
So to take the pressure off of oneself, and enjoy the moment, rather than
Yeah,
just looking ahead to the destination.
absolutely.
And kind of, share a little bit about, how specifically our young ladies can work on building up their self-esteem, and getting some confidence in their own bodies.
Yeah, I actually really think that's a great question. so for what works for me is I don't compare myself to anyone. I'm influenced by, by people as far as like their styles or, their hair, basically what's trending. But as far as for somebody that wants to build self-esteem or confidence, especially like in body type in one's body, I don't look up to anybody. I don't have expectations on my for for the other person, um, because we're all on different paths. What may work for somebody may not work for me, and yeah, you can't put unrealistic expectations on yourself. But what I do like for self esteem, or what I do is I would just start with something that makes you happy. If you're building that confidence and that self-esteem, I would start by, even if it's something like small as in going to the gym, getting your body right, or going to like a spa day, just start small by building what makes you happy. And then also just keeping track of what you're feeding your mind on a mental level as well. Like, you definitely don't want to, because it's kind of like if you're improving yourself as far as you doing things that make you feel good, you definitely got to keep track of that mental level too, because it's kind of like going to the gym and then working out and then going and eating fast food right after. Like it's not like that doesn't work, so you definitely got to keep track of what you're feeding yourself on a mental basis too. If you're seeing something that brings you down, I would suggest kind of doing another alternative, like put something that um on your feed, or have some stuff that's on your feed that makes you feel good, versus anything negative. So I feel that also plays like a big factor into self-esteem and confidence and all the stuff that we got with social media nowadays.
Excellent. I'm glad you added that last piece. I would have never even thought of that. Just
Yeah.
kind of cleaning up your news feed and
Yeah.
inputting more uplifting things.
Yeah. Definitely.
And this part, this question coming up, we usually like, like it usually kind of like gets, I guess, like thinking, like kind of backtracking, like what is my routine? So kind of take us through a day in the life of Mercy.
Man, it is pretty not exciting. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm pretty base. I have a 9 to 5, so I'm not full. My goal is to become a full entrepreneur, but that's not my reality yet. So in the meantime, my daily life is Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 schedule, and then when I'm not at that job, I am on go. I am on go with all my other stuff I got going on. I'm constantly pushing out. Well, I'm just starting to push out more content, trying to stay relevant. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm working on two other businesses I have coming up. I have a clothing line, and then a clothing line boutique, and then I have like a cleaning service coming up. So that's all in the works. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm feeding my mental too, as far as like reading books. I'm in classes to learn about social. What is it called? Not about social media, but just like
Marketing or
like management and stuff like that, and how to build have a successful launch. So I'm constantly on go, and honestly, yeah, that's basically what my routine is like. For the week, so I'm on go a lot of times.
work ethic, consistency, perseverance,
Oh
and
yeah.
these are the type of interviews that are especially helpful to specifically our young ladies. So
Hmm.
definitely appreciate you sharing some insight into your everyday routine. We'll flip it around a little bit. Um, Hit us with kind of your take on self-care and the importance of mental health awareness for brown people of color in general.
Yeah. Um, self-care. Self-care is very important to me. When I think self-care, I think of a lot of things. I just think about how we look, and then especially on a mental level too, like as we discussed, like with like um mental health and stuff like that. That's super important. Um that's I would say that's one of the top things is mental health, is taking care of that mental health. Um and it's actually something, to be quite honest, I had struggled recently with mental health, probably like about the past 6 months ago. Um, and I would suggest, and it doesn't work for everybody, but therapy. Therapy is amazing for me. And I've heard other people kind of say, oh, it doesn't really work for me. But I honestly think it depends who your therapist is. I definitely wanted somebody relatable. So, and this was my first time ever doing therapy. I just felt like my mental health was not at a good point. So I got a therapist, kind of looked into it a little bit, and I remember telling them, I was like, hey, as far as for a therapist, I want a female. I want somebody in my age, around my age
Okay.
bracket, and I want somebody of color, ethnicity. I that's just honestly somebody
Mhm.
how I can open up to. I just feel like I wouldn't, just for personal reasons, I just feel like I can open up, to somebody like that. And it was amazing. Therapy was, and it is still like an amazing investment mentally. Not saying if you go to therapy, everything's going to be fixed, but there's steps to get you, on the right path, or just having like a different mind, like a different way of outlook. I know one thing my therapist I suggested was journaling, and ever since then I've been tapping into that a lot more lately. Well, when I have the time to, I wish I had more time to journal, but yeah, I feel like that's um plays a big factor. Definitely taking care of your mental health is super, super crucial. Like I cannot stress that enough. And if you don't want to go to a therapist, I would suggest having like a close family or friend that you can open up to and start there, like starting small. Yeah, but super important. I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about mental health, as far as like people talk about it, but I feel like it's
Not
not
in
just.
detail, depth.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's super important. But yeah, like I said, you can always start small, as far as like talking to somebody that you trust and know that it's gonna be there for you. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have anything for like any other alternatives for mental health as well.
So you brought up you turned on a few light bulbs. So of all I guess that we've had Olympic athletes, current Olympic athletes, retired Olympic
Oh
athletes,
wow.
current student athletes, and you pretty much expanded on that topic the best by far. You hit it from all around, from seeking counseling the traditional way, from starting small with the family members.
Yeah.
Some of our athletes, they've been speaking with a sports psychologist. Um,
Okay.
it's real encouraging that you said you kind of look for a therapist with similar backgrounds, demographics.
Yeah.
So myself currently, aside from this podcast, I am a graduate counseling student at a youth correctional facility in Colorado. And going into my internship there, I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of butterflies, but then I came to realize that a lot of the youth, specifically of color, gravitate towards me a lot more than the other counselors at the facility that are way more experienced, got more letters attached to their
Yeah.
credentials and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that people can gravitate towards you. Um, that's an amazing experience. I bet you had so many students too that did you have a lot of people that gravitated towards you at the
A
time?
lot. A
That's
lot.
good.
So like you kind of opened up like another pathway for some of our young viewers, some of the
Mhm.
young listeners, like, hey, we need more therapists of color coming in. We need
Yeah,
more models of color coming in. We need more representation in all different fields, Mercy.
absolutely. I agree 100%. Yeah, like mental health, like I said, it's super important. Definitely, if you're experiencing something like that, like I said, just start basic. I mean, you don't have to start big and jump right into therapy if that's something that you're not, comfortable with. But yeah,